We found a phone in the woods, part 3 final. The message on Marcus's phone glowed in the dark warehouse. Welcome. Let's begin. For a moment, neither of us moved. The huge building around us felt wrong. Not just empty, but watching. Our footsteps echoed too loudly across the concrete floor, like the warehouse was listening to everything we did. Marcus slowly lifted his flashlight again. Something's not right about this place, he whispered. I nodded. At first glance, the warehouse looked abandoned. Rusted machines, broken crates, dust everywhere. But then I noticed something strange. The floor wasn't dusty. Not everywhere. There were paths where the dust had been disturbed, like people had been walking through here recently. A lot of people. Marcus pointed his flashlight toward a hallway between 2 rows of old equipment. Look, there were arrows painted on the wall. Red arrows, pointing deeper into the building. That's not creepy at all, I muttered. Before we could decide what to do, the phone buzzed again. Another message from the same unknown number. Marcus opened it slowly. The maze starts now. Then a second message appeared. Run. At that exact moment, something slammed shut behind us. We spun around. The metal entrance door we had come through had slammed closed. Marcus ran over and pulled on it. Locked. From the inside. Great, he said quietly. Then we heard something in the distance. A loud metallic clang, followed by footsteps. Multiple footsteps. Not just one person. Several, moving somewhere deeper in the building. Marcus grabbed my arm. We need to move. We followed the red arrows. The hallway led us into a massive open section of the warehouse, filled with tall stacks of old shipping containers. Except they weren't stacked normally. They had been arranged into tight corridors, like walls, like someone had built a giant maze inside the building. Marcus whispered this was planned. The phone buzzed again. Marcus looked at the screen. A new message appeared. Find the center, then another, or they will find you. A chill ran down my spine. I said. Marcus didn't answer, but we both knew what that meant. Somewhere inside the maze, other people were moving. We stepped carefully into the first corridor between the containers. The metal walls rose high above us, blocking most of the light. Our flashlights bounced off the rusted surfaces. The hallway twisted left, then right, then split into 2 different paths. Marcus checked the phone again. Another message appeared. Wrong way. A loud crash echoed somewhere behind us. Then shouting. Voices. Men's voices. Angry. Searching. Marcus grabbed my arm. They are coming. We ran. Our footsteps echoed through the maze of metal corridors as we turned corner after corner. Then suddenly Marcus stopped. Don't move. The flashlight beam revealed something stretched across the hallway. A thin wire, barely visible, connected to a heavy stack of metal pipes hanging above us. A trap, he whispered. If we had kept running, we would have hit the wire. The pipes would have come crashing down. Marcus carefully stepped over it. We kept moving, but the deeper we went, the stranger the maze became. Some corridors had cages built into the walls. Inside them were old chains, stained floors, like people had been kept there before. Marcus swallowed hard. This guy's been doing this for years. The shouting behind us got louder. Flashlights flickered through the gaps between containers. They were close. Too close. We turned another corner and froze. At the end of the corridor stood a man. Not the surgeon. Someone else. A huge guy holding a metal pipe. His eyes widened when he saw us. "Hey." Marcus shoved me. "Run." The man charged. We sprinted through another corridor, turning left and right as fast as we could. The maze seemed endless. Then suddenly, the floor dropped beneath Marcus's foot. A loud snap echoed. He barely jumped back in time. A section of the floor collapsed into a deep pit filled with broken metal. Another trap. Marcus shook his head. "This whole place is a death trap." Then the phone buzzed again. Marcus looked at the message. This one was different. It wasn't instructions. It was a video. Marcus pressed play. The camera showed the surgeon sitting calmly in a chair somewhere inside the warehouse. Behind him were several people tied to chairs, including Dylan. Alive, but barely conscious. The surgeon smiled into the camera. "You've done well." He leaned closer. "But the center is very close now." The video ended. Another message appeared. "Last corridor." We followed the arrows again. Our legs burned from running. The shouting behind us grew louder. More men had joined the search. Finally, we reached a large metal door at the end of the maze. Marcus pushed it open. Inside was a wide circular room. Bright lights hung from the ceiling. In the center stood the surgeon, exactly like the videos. White coat, gloves, calm expression. Behind him sat Dylan and several other people tied to chairs. Marcus stepped forward slowly. "Game's over," he said. The surgeon smiled. "Oh no," he replied softly. "The game was never about catching you." He gestured toward the maze behind us. "It was about seeing if you were smart enough to survive it." Footsteps suddenly stopped behind us. The men chasing us didn't enter the room. They just stood at the doorway, watching. The surgeon clapped slowly. "Congratulations," he said. "You made it further than anyone else." Marcus grabbed Dylan and began cutting the ropes. The surgeon didn't stop him. He simply watched, almost amused. "You can leave now," he said calmly. We stared at him. "What?" I asked. The surgeon shrugged. "Fear is more interesting when people live long enough to remember it." Marcus lifted Dylan to his feet. We backed toward the door. None of the men in the maze tried to stop us. The surgeon just stood there smiling. "Don't worry," he said. "We'll play again someday." We didn't stop running until we reached the car. By the time police arrived hours later, the warehouse was empty. No maze, no traps, no cages, nothing, just an abandoned building. But sometimes late at night, Marcus still gets messages on the phone we found in the woods. The last one he showed me only had 4 words. "The maze is ready.